Alright. Hi, Attican attempted to do the voiceover for this one. What a waste of time. Anyway, thanks for joining. We are on part 6 of Railway Empire 2 Scenario 13 Sitting on the Fence. We are going to jump over to the plan again as we have a new big project to work on that is more critical than work on our next cluster. We need to consider how to tackle the tools production for delivery to Paris, which won't take the tools until it hits 85k. I did the analysis of the leveling up and production of the relevant factories and mines to produce weapons. Demand is capped at 5 per week by the Strasbourg Weapons Depot. We need L4 Weapons Factory to produce 5.6 weapons per week. We cannot add weapons factory at other cities. We need either an L4 chemical factory and an L4 steel mill to supply an L4 weapon factory with extra steel available for tools production, or multiple smaller chemical plants and steel mills in other towns. We need L4 coal and iron ore mines to supply chemical plant and steel mill. The plan: grow Paris to 85k to take tools. Note, Paris is already big enough to support L4 weapons factory. Grow Orleans and Auxerre to 60k to support L4 facilities. Match factory upgrades with coal and iron ore upgrades as we go, including support for tools production. Connect Cannes, our only unconnected, available town, and by the meat industry they're replacing it with a tools factory. Provide Cannes with wood. Set up a direct delivery of steel to Cannes from Auxerre. So our current big projects list in priority order looks like this. 1. Weapons optimization and tools production. 2. Eindhoven Amsterdam Groningen cluster. 3. Luxembourg Brussels Lille cluster. I had a look around at the save file to gather the data I needed for the weapons optimization analysis. I noticed that clothing wasn't being shipped in our Paris Nancy Strasbourg cluster, even though we called for production of 3 in our clothing industry in Strasbourg. The reason is that the textile mill owner refuses to upgrade and wants 11 million to buy him out. I looked at other options like bringing textiles down from Brussels, but decided that pay the ransom was the most direct approach. Added clothing industry in Luxembourg because there is an open slot there.
It seems your trains are not running too smoothly. Why don't you improve your maintenance?
Milk line maintenance. Thought we fixed that last video. Guess not. We'll fix and upsize the route to match our cluster needs. Would like to win the auction to get some research, but it is just so expensive. I will let our competitors fight it out and spend all their money.
Grandios! This is how a sabotage has to work.
Some decent HR stuff and would like the auction discount and lower train maintenance, so we will go for those at 2 stars. Now we can pay off our biggest bond and should be able to quickly accumulate funds to pay off the other one and open bigger bonds for serious money. We have an opportunity for a fruit connection bonus. We add a warehouse in Strasbourg, set it to handle fruit, and run our fruit line to that warehouse. That way we collect the bonus and provide fruit for the Strasbourg-Nancy-Paris cluster. We are not running any older trains, so we don't care about the retirements.
Magnifique! This will also help our troops.
We managed to finally deliver 10 weapons to Strasbourg and complete a task. Now we can close that last bond and open 2 large ones. 44 million just doesn't go as far as it would have at the beginning of the scenario.
No one but you seemed to want it. But at least, it was cheap.
Let's start connecting Cannes, so we can eventually produce tools there and ship them to Paris to complete that task.
The choice of location for your station does not seem plausible to me.
I mismatched those track ends, but no matter, it can be fixed. Now we will set up track to go to Cannes from the wood near Tours. Since it can be clumsy to build track through city limits, we will pass through the Tours freight station. Then come off the other side to continue to Cannes. Time to pay whatever price necessary for the meat industry, knock it down, and replace it with a tool factory. Unfortunately, we can only do a level 1 tool factory because Cannes is so small, but that's fine. We should be able to at least get the task done. Took me a while to realize why the wood couldn't go to can. It had no way at Tours Freight to get from track 3 or 4 over to track 1 or 2. A 4-track gridiron fixes that. Even with the tool factory, total wood demand in can is less than 1, so any wood line under 56 days duration will do with a single train. Salt is needed now in Paris, and we can send it to a warehouse handling salt in Paris, so it will be available to the rest of the cluster should Nancy or Strasbourg grow large enough. The plan is that they will. We can run the salt line right through the can station. Adding the warehouse to accept salt. Without it, salt would only be shipped to Paris and never be available for Nancy or Strasbourg. Starting to level all the weapons-related mines and factories up to L4, or at least as far as they will go. Auxerre and Orleans need to grow to 60K to support an L4 factory.
blast it. The blackmailer was actually serious and sabotaged one of your tracks.
As a rule, I don't pay blackmail on principle. We are being sabotaged so much by Walter you hardly notice one more incident. We are starting to accumulate steel for delivery to Cannes. We've done about all we can do for now with weapons and tools. We still have some money, so let's start looking at the Eindhoven-Amsterdam-Groningen cluster. Groningen had a useless chemical plant, so we bought it, tore it down, and replaced it with a distillery. We have sugar at the Eindhoven warehouse and fruit nearby.
If no one else bids, it's easy to win.
We will run 2 fruit lines, one directly to Groningen to feed the distillery and one directly to the Eindhoven warehouse to feed Eindhoven and Amsterdam. We will buy the fruit orchard so we can control its upgrades.
At that price, I might have taken it too.
Immigration offices for Auxerre, Orleans, and Tours. Excellent. This will speed up growth of those cities. We need Auxerre and Orleans, in particular, to grow. I took a bit of an off with their heads approach to changing these lines. Remember, this is really 2-3 city clusters right now, with Eindhoven in the middle of both of them. We are moving to a more traditional 3-city cluster: Eindhoven, Amsterdam, Groningen.
At that price, I might have taken it too.
After looking at the level of the cornfield and all that corn waiting to be transported, we didn't really need to make that purchase. But by now I'm kind of in if it is for sale, I'm buying it mode. Need to buy the textiles mill in Amsterdam so we can control upgrades for the cluster. Textiles are tricky because they continue to be demanded by each city in the cluster, as well as needed for the clothing industry.
Bought something at auction.
Our quarter-over-quarter results were disappointing, but we spent a ton of money on industry purchases and upgrades. I didn't really complete the optimization of the Eindhoven-Amsterdam-Groningen cluster. We'll need to come back to it next episode. Meat needs major upgrades to support a set it and forget it 3-city cluster. We also need the cattle ranch to control and match upgrades. Cattle delivery capacity needs to increase as well.
Enjoy your auctioned object.
We ate steel on the way to Cannes. Excellent. Want to set up a dedicated train to carry tools to Paris. One full load of 8 will complete the task, but I go back and forth on how I want to handle it. Ended up with a compromise of have at least 2 so the train can go to Paris and bring back some beer for Cannes. Our little L1 factory isn't going to produce tools that fast anyway. I'm renaming this route because I had trouble finding it. Checking to see if beefing up passenger/mail from Luxembourg to Nancy would be a good thing. It would. Checking most of the express lines to make sure we are maximizing our passenger and mail profits. Overall, we are doing a good job. Decided to make some more express money by running passenger/mail from Tours to Cannes. We already have all that lovely, barely used track, so why not? Went with post office in Cannes. Mail volume surpasses passenger volume as the cities grow. I'm thinking of modifying my starting express configuration to restaurant/post office delivering to maintenance/post office. Tell me what you think in the comments. Paris just isn't getting all the goods it could. Added a couple of more trains to the main freight line, but need to give this a harder look. That's enough for this episode. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it will help make you a better player. I hope you will like, comment, and subscribe and join us for our next Railway Empire 2 video. Thank you.